Thousands of fans dressed in yellow, and they're not here to watch Brazil play football. We're at Valentino Rossi's home race in Misano. This is After the Flag. Welcome to After the Flag from Magellan. This is After the Flag from Laguna Seca. Come on, guys, go! So we're lucky enough to be joined this week here in Misano by Cal Crutchlow, of course, from the Monster Yamaha Tech 3 team. Thanks for joining us, Cal. First things first, how are your arms? Because it's looked pretty sore. No, nothing wrong with it. Turn it the other way, come on.
They're okay. It's a bit of a hole in one, but it's all right.
But you've done that a couple of times already this season, so is it taking even more to heal now?
Yeah, and after Silverstone, it seemed to be healing quite well. The swelling was horrendous.
It looked like a balloon, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very big. But then I went away, and the scab was not healing very well, so I had to go to the hospital, and they took it off. So
I hope no one's having their dinner while they're watching it.
Yeah, it was painful. They were going to do an operation. They wanted to put me under anaesthetic, and I said no, I have to race at the weekend. And but our surgeon back in the Isle of Man, Ross Barker, he helps all the motorcycle races out. And he gave me some cream, and it luckily broke down on its own. But it's like being back to square one every time. And every time you put a bandage on it, it rips it back off again. So it's like, But we race motorcycles for a living. Yeah. I'm not, I'm not complaining about it, and I'm not saying my arm's bad or this, that, and the other. It's just one of them.
Just go ride with it. I just wanted to check as well. Actually, have you been to the loo? You don't need the loo at this moment in time.
Not in a minute, but if I do, I'll give you a shout. Well, and maybe you can escort me.
We just always see you on the grid. Every single time the cameras, we're always trying to find you, and suddenly Cal's not there. Where's he gone? He's usually popped off.
Yeah.
Is that now a routine, or
Lorenzo does it as well. I've done it for 10 years.
Yeah.
Every grid. And the only time that I never done it was when I couldn't walk because I broke my ankle.
Wow.
But yeah, the funny thing was, and no joke, we used to actually do it on the grid at the wall. I'm sure you used to remember Randy or whoever used to doing it, and we got sanctioned for it. They gave us fines and said no more. So I carried on, and then they said no, championship points were taken off. So I said, okay,
I'll go to the loo.
To the toilet.
Another thing on the grid that we've noticed that you want to do. Are you asleep here? What can you explain to us? What's going on, or what's going through your mind at this part on the grid, just about to take the safety cars away?
I can guarantee you I'm definitely not asleep, right? But I'm not visualising anything as well. I know a lot of riders do visualisation. Yeah. I don't do any of that, because if you visualise winning, and it doesn't happen, what do you think then? There's no point in doing it. It's a technique that I've used to sort of try and calm me down and tell myself to do a good job.
Get in the zone.
But yeah, it's not like I'm not sitting there thinking about going around this corner, that corner, or the other. Right. I've been around it all weekend, so I know it's there. It's certainly not going to move.
Well, as long as you're not asleep, that's the main thing before the start of the race as well. Now we're here in Italy, of course, Cal. How are the Italians receiving you? Because I'd heard that they'd sort of taken you on board as a bit of a, and obviously you'll be at Ducati next year, but they'd sort of taken you on board as a bit of a quasi-Italian.
Yeah, it's nice, obviously with the move to Ducati, that's always going to not benefit me, but I don't know. What I've said is I believe that 99.9% of fans in Italy are Valentino's, and maybe the 0.1 are mine, which is great. I'll take the 0.1. And when he wasn't able to be on the podium in Mugello, I was the one that got a great reception. So it's nice to be here at Misano. It's not treating me too well at the minute, but there's time for it to change, and hopefully we can put on a show for them.
And just as well, you talked about Valentino there, as well with Marc, you've had a couple of podiums, the three of you together, or whether it's been Parc Ferme as well, you all seem to get on. There's been a bit of fun there. I don't know, is it mutual respect, or is it just you?
Yeah, I don't see them as enemies. Everyone, over the history, they want to see a fight or a rivalry between the riders, but that's fine. On track, it's fine. And you know what? If someone hit me and knocked me off the track, at the end of the race, I'd still shake their hand, because I'd do it to someone and someone would do it to me. And that's the way that I look at it. If I knock someone off or I get knocked off, it's the same thing, So I don't look at it as though, I would say I was friends with the guys off the track, but rivals on the track. But you have to trust the guys around you, and you have to have that respect with them. They do the same job as you, and it's not an easy job to have. Everyone, don't get me wrong, I have the best job in the world, and I wouldn't change it for anything. But it's not easy to be away from home all the time. It's not easy to crash motorcycles. It's not easy to be under the pressure you're under, and they all have the same thing, So I see it that everyone's in my same situation, and I'd rather be happy than not happy. So it's just the way I am, and I believe that, in all honesty, I bring a lot of that out of them instead of them just being,
robots or
what I'm not saying what they are, but different to what I can make them be, which is quite funny.
But Marc certainly seems to have taken, each of you taken to each other as well. We're just going to have a quick look back here at Misano. Marc Marquez got a fabulous record, not only this year in MotoGP, but it was in the past in Moto2. He's won here for the last couple of years, and the year before that as well. So our trip down memory lane is how well Marc Marquez has done here in the past at Misano.
Marquez wins his 6th Grand Prix of the season. It's the 18-year-old Spaniard. It's Marc Marquez. But a wobble from Espargaro means that Marc Marquez has won it, and a shake of the head from Espargaro. He's not happy with that.
The race was very, very clever. The plan was in the beginning was a little bit difficult in the beginning because Janone pushed quite a lot. My confidence and my motivation is 100%. I try to push my 100%. I try to do my best. It's important and quite a lot. And in the end, catch this victory, it's so important for us. And in the end, this victory is so important. Here in Misano, I have three victories. One in 125 and 2 in Moto2. It's quite a good circuit for me, but maybe the best memory is last year.
Then he'd have been right in Marquez's face, but Espargaro going for the inside line into Tramonto, and now he's going to stop it in the corner and try and block. Oh, aggressive from Marquez on the exit. Into the final corner here at Misano. Well, we've had a couple of wobbles here from Marquez, in the race, but a wobble from Espargaro means that Marc Marquez has won it, and a shake of the head from Espargaro. He's not happy with that.
We did a very nice battle with Paul Espargaro, and in the end I won that battle.
So fabulous few years for Marc here. He's a bit special, and he's a... do you fancy yourself against him if you could get that Ducati working, for example, next year?
Yeah, but I have to look at it. He's, in real terms, he's come into the championship. He's beaten everybody in the championship, not just me. But yeah, he's riding very, very well, and he's a very special talent. He's not unbeatable for sure. We know that. But he's only going to get faster, which is bad for everyone else. But yeah, I've been privileged to be on the podium with guys of his caliber, and also Valentino and Jorge and Danny. So yeah, but he's definitely taken it to them, and he's definitely fast. But yeah, somebody needs to give him something that makes him leave. Like, I'm not saying a massive sum of money, but they could maybe like NASA could offer him something to go to the moon, and he'll stay there for a few years. But
you're gonna have to convince someone really hard to think about that one. Just finally, it's a big year for you, not just on the track but off the track as well, because you're getting married, aren't you, later on this year? Is that going to happen?
Starting next year.
Next year. Now, how are the plans going?
I don't like 13. Okay, I don't like the number 13.
Right.
So that's one reason why I'm writing today off as well, because it's the 13th.
Right.
So. Yeah, I said I wouldn't get married in 13, so we're going to do it in 14.
Next year. How are the plans going though? Are you well versed on them?
Yeah.
Or is it all loosies?
No, not at all. We made the decision together. We're not having anything extreme. We don't need it. Lucy doesn't want it. We're getting married to each other, not everyone else. And
what about the stag do? Sorted that out? Sorted out a best man yet?
I'm sure the stag do.
I'm not angling for it or anything like that.
I'm sure the stag do is going to be something to do with cycling, because, probably when we're over in America. We're going to get married in America, and it will probably be over there and we'll do something. But yeah, I got everything sorted, I'm sure.
Busy winter all round. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Cal.
No problem.
All the best for the rest of the weekend, and of course the rest of the year. Let's have a look how Cal got on and the rest of the riders here this weekend at the San Marino Rimini Riviera Grand Prix.
It's round 12 of the Moto3 World Championship. It's the Misano circuit in Italy. Jonas Folger, Alex Rins and Maverick Vinales on the front row of the grid.
Through turn 11, fastest corner on the circuit, one of the fastest in the whole of MotoGP. As Maverick Vinales thinks about going through on the inside, he's not going to think, he's actually going to make the move through past Jonas Folger.
Oh, big crash for Jonas
Oh, and he
Folger.
obviously was working far too hard, too much gas, too early in the middle of the corner. That's a huge high side, but for Jonas.
Here they come into turn 11, absolutely flat out, and Rins takes the lead. Final corner of the race. It's a long run to the line. What has Vinales got left? Not enough. Can he come out of the slipstream? Rins still leads the way, and Alex Rins wins here at Misano.
Well done to Alex Rins. He's a real talent, this kid, isn't he?
So here we go. This is round 12 of the Moto2 World Championship here in Italy.
He lost the race there back in the 125cc class, battling Andrea Iannone as Espargaro comes past for the first time.
Pulls up alongside, and Pol Espargaro leads the race with 2 laps to go. 25 points perhaps on their way to the Spaniard.
The final corner, he wins in Misano.
Pol Espargaro wins, Taka Nakagami in second place, Tito Rabat third, Luti, Eggerton, Zarco and Scott Redding has got through on Zarco.
Zarco's lost out in that final corner to Scott Redding, who's going to try and get through. Can he on Eggerton as well? No, but he takes 6th, picks up another point, could be vital. Zarco in 7th.
What a Moto2 race, what a championship.
Great performance from Espargaro.
Yeah. Front row, Marc Marquez, Jorge Lorenzo, and the local hero, Valentino Rossi.
Very early start from Aleix Espargaro. I think they're going to have to take a close look at that one as they go down to turn 1 for the first time. Espargaro goes through on the inside of Valentino Rossi. So Espargaro has gone up and passed the Italian in front of his home fans. Crutchlow hangs on to 6th place there. Bradle just in behind him.
Marquez now knows that he's going to have to perhaps get past Dani Pedrosa.
Oh, and he's run it so wide at turn 8 that he's going to lose out on 3rd. He was right at the back of Pedrosa, and he was going so deep, he almost followed him in on the brakes, but knew he would collect his teammate. Rossi runs it a little deeper than Marquez through La Quercia. He's back there on the inside, though. Offers you that chance, though. The corner as Marquez now comes through on the inside of Rossi going into turn 10. Santi Hernandez watching on with Emilio Alfamora as well as Marquez. He's going to fire it through. Turn 2. Marquez gets the cheers from the crowd. Now Dani Pedrosa, it's your time to respond.
Jorge Lorenzo may have disappeared at the front, but the 2 Honda riders are putting on a great show in this battle for 2nd place.
Pedrosa does come through onto the inside into turn 10. Just what Marquez did to Rossi, and Pedrosa is back. He's into 2nd place. There's life in the old dog yet.
We know Marc Marquez. That's not the end of this particular battle. 6.5 laps to go.
And he's going to fire it through at turn 14, where we've seen Pedrosa so strong. Marquez back up into 2nd place now.
Jorge Lorenzo wins for the 3rd successive time here at Misano. He's thrown the ball back in the Honda court. Marc Marquez in 2nd place. Dani Pedrosa 3rd.
Valentino Rossi is going to come home in 4th place.
Still a big gap in the championship, but it's not over yet.
Yet another fantastic victory then for Jorge Lorenzo here in Misano. That's 3 in 3 years at this circuit, and 2 in a row for the Yamaha rider. But in terms of the championship, actually, Marc Marquez with 2 second places has opened things up a little bit if we take a look at the standings. What was a 30-point lead for Marc Marquez has now extended to 34, but it's over Lorenzo, who is ahead of Dani Pedrosa, both 34 points behind Marquez, but he's second by virtue of having won more races. Lots of exciting action on track here then in Misano, but lots more behind the scenes as well. This is our debrief of the weekend here in Misano.
It's only when you're comfortable sitting on the tarmac and even more comfortable scraping it off the side of your bike, absolutely on the edge and en route to victory, that you enjoy the luxury of celebrating the win 2 corners from the end. Just as you dominate your rivals, just as you inject a new dose of emotion into the World Championship battle, you can enjoy an updated measure of euphoria. You know you've made it when the mechanics aren't panicking, but enjoying the occasion, when everybody congratulates you on the job well done. And when you reach Parc Ferme, able to ask this question. Well, behind you was a boy still chasing a dream and threatening to rewrite the history books. A boy who, at this point, has already displayed a distinct lack of respect for his elders, while still learning from them, of course. And then there was Danny, still deep within that same dream he's been wishing would come true all this time. In front of him, 5 races. 5 races to convert a dream into a reality, and it is still possible, but it seemed as though this weekend, no instruction or motivation was going to lift spirits here. And that, Jorge, that struggle to keep title hopes alive is what happened behind you. Good question. Sorry, but Valentino is still the centre of attention here. No matter who he speaks with in the press room, no matter whether he raises his eyebrows or chats with the guy alongside, he always tends to take the limelight, doesn't he? It really doesn't matter who's on the podium. Yellow is the colour in Italy, and it's all for him. He finished 4th, but you wouldn't believe it, would you? However, behind the scenes, seamless transmission was the start of the show here, the saving grace perhaps for the Yamaha riders. Leading protagonist of the press conferences and on the track. And at the end of the day, a more competitive bike is the only thing that matters to anybody, surely. Including Aleix Espargaro, who it's probably fair to say didn't experience his best ever weekend. There was tension in the air, and we all felt it on Friday. And change the discs they certainly did, because surely any request, no matter how it's delivered, should be satisfied when it comes from one of these guys. The ones who, in every sense of the word, live life on the edge.
Well, it's time to leave the Adriatic coast of Italy now, sadly. Next stop, of course, is the Motorland Aragon circuit in Spain. We'll be there bringing you all the latest. We'll see you then.